And once again, welcome to the Tiger's Nest. Give thanks for those who are still with us. Now, a moment ago, we began the program by reading that article from the Associated Press, highlighting the whole aspect of the volcano Haile Gube that erupted on Sunday, the 23rd day of November. But, royal family, to me, there's a mystic towards all of this. Yes, the Associated Press really gave us an understanding of what took place on Sunday, and according to the press, the eruption subsided on Tuesday. Tuesday when? The 25th day of November. And I think this is very, very important. Yes, we got a good understanding of, the flights that were canceled from India and other places in Arabia. And it would have really affected the health of many people that surrounded the volcano in the Afar region and some of the other regions very close to the activity. Remember, this volcano caught everybody by surprise. Of course, in fact, many people are saying this is the first time it ever erupted on history, or in the last 10,000 years, or in the last 12,000 years. But the point is, even the geologists were caught by surprise. But at the same time, keep in mind that this dormant volcano, well, it was dormant, is really a part of a string of volcanoes in the Erta Ale region. So you would expect that sooner or later it will kick up. And of course, it affected the water supply and definitely affected the food supply and so forth and so forth. But you see, what I personally find interesting at this time, according to the article I just read to you, the Associated Press, what did it say? It said that the eruption subsided on the 25th day of November. Now, the 25th day of November, really the sunset of the 24th day of November, is a very special day in Ethiopia. It's really the beginning of a 43-day fast that leads you up until the time of Christmas. Follow me, eh? This is very, very important because we are dealing with the fast of the prophets. Some people refer to it as Lidet or Lidet, pardon me, Sumi, which is the Christmas fast. Now, this is very key because we're dealing with a fast that is going to take us straight until the birthday or earth day of the Christ figure, which is the 7th of January here in Ethiopia. So it is very interesting, that this volcano would have erupted at this time. No, it doesn't do it every year for the fast. In fact, many people never expected this volcano to erupt at all. In fact, many people are saying this is the first time it ever erupted, at least on their historical records. Again, some saying in the last 10,000 years, some saying in the last 12,000 years. But now we're dealing with Some Nebiyat. Again, the fast of the prophets. Our good brother Saifa Selassie, highlighted in a comment on a video that I did right after the eruption of the volcano that we're dealing with a special time. And this is the time when the Ethiopians celebrate the millions of angels period. And that was something that I just learned about. But specifically on the sunset of the 24th of November, again, and I'm on the ground here in Ethiopia and I can see it for myself. It begins the fasting period that will last until, again, the birth of Christ. And this was when the volcano erupted. I will repeat, it doesn't happen every year. So there must be something special about the eruption of that volcano, Haile Gubi, at this time in the year 2025, which will lead us until the Christmas in the year 2026, according to the Western calendar, of course, the 7th day of January. How interesting that is. And, we are having a tour here in Ethiopia this year, a Christmas tour, something we would have been promoting for some time now, which will be from the 29th day of December until the 7th day of January. So it's also called the Lidet. the Lidet Some. Some is spelled with a T, T-S-O-M-E, the fast of the earth day of Christ. Now, Ethiopia is an interesting place when it speaks about fasting. It's not really fasting in the way that most of us consider fasting. It's really abstinence from certain products like meat and eggs and certain things. It's almost like a vegan diet or vegan liberty that they would have taken up. So in Ethiopia, Wednesday and Friday, and in certain parts, Monday, just like Emmanuel order, is a fasting day. But at the same time, it's not really fasting like how we, especially as Baba Shanti, would fast, or most of us in the Western world. When you hear fasting, you just think that you're not eating at all. That's why you have the water fast and fruit fast. You read your Bible about the 40 days and the 40 nights of fasting that Christ would have gone through. And your idea is that he didn't eat anything at all. That's why at the end of the fast, it said he hungered. He needed something to munch on. But in Ethiopia, when you consider a fast, it means that you're not eating any meat. In fact, in Ethiopia, when you tell people you don't eat flesh, it's like a big surprise. Huh? No? Wow. And they look at one another like, wow, what kind of being is this? You don't eat animals? No, not even fish. What you talking about? You understand? So it's a period of fasting, yes, in their way. But I'm still looking at it when the ancient ones said they fasted. No disrespect to the Ethiopians. I know that they fasted, meaning that they put food aside. That's a fast. I mean, if I'm going to consider the fast that the Ethiopians highlight today, that means I would have been fasting for about 27 years now, about 28, 27 years. And you may wonder, wow, what a fast. But fasting really means, in the Ethiopian concept, that you're not eating any egg, or you're not eating any animals, or anything that has to do with animals, animal products or byproducts. So basically like a vegan diet you would have taken up. But anyway, outside of that, it is very spiritual to me that at the time of the eruption of this volcano, follow me good, it was the beginning of the fast, basically the eve of the fast, because the next day at the sunset, the fast began. And this is going to carry us until the Christ Mass. Well, it's going to carry us until the eve of the Christ Mass, because, the Lidet, or the Gena, as some people call it, the Christ Mass is a feasting celebration. So it's going to be a very serious day of feasting, and the Gina and all of that, which is the game that they play, and of course, rejoicing over the birth of Christ. And remember, again, I must highlight that we will be having a special tour. And I must say, not necessarily promoting the tour at this moment. I just found it interesting that we are promoting this tour at this time, at this special moment. It wasn't really highlighted by anyone because no one knew that the volcano was going to erupt. But the volcano erupted. I'm talking of Haile Gubi. And at the same time, keep in mind that this volcano is a part of the Erta Ali string of volcanoes. So it's not necessarily a surprise, but it caught everyone by surprise. So I have an article here that I want to read for you. I'm going to read it in a moment. And of course, I'm just encouraging everyone, if you are not a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest program, make sure you get on the subscription team so you can definitely get the Tiger's Nest program every time it is broadcasted, every time it's recorded. You'll definitely get it in your inbox, obviously via the email. So it's a time of humility as such. And as Bobo Shanti, the way that we fast, for example, when we go through our 40 day and 40 nights of fasting, we eat once per day. And this is what I have been saying for a long time. You have different levels of fasting. I must say, it is only since I've been in Ethiopia that I understand how the Ethiopians fast. You know, even from abroad, when I understood that the Ethiopians have 100+ days of fasting, I was saying, man, them is some serious people. I'm not taking away the seriousness from them, but their level of fasting is just eating without meat. That is it. I'm telling you, that's how the people here consider fasting strictly, just not eating meat. From you're not eating meat, you are fasting. And, no disrespect, but I don't think that is the biblical fast. When you read of the prophets fasting and you read of Christ fasting, I think it was abstinence from food in general. But anyway, whatever the case is, I am linking the eruption of Haile Gube with this period of Lidet Some, which is the Christmas fast, or also known as Some Nebeyet, which is the fast of the prophets. And of course, as our brother highlighted, celebrating the millions of angels period that we are also a part of right now. So there's a lot of spiritual, celestial energy around Ethiopia right now and around the celebration that is coming. It's as if, we are coming into a period of strong celestial excitement. 43 days leading up until the Earth Day, or the birthday celebration of Jesus Christus. And of course, the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church is definitely leading the way with that. But the celestial world is rejoicing. And to me, that could be seen in the eruption of the volcano. Very good. So yes, royal family, those of you who will be with us in Ethiopia for the Christmas tour from the 29th of December until the 7th of January, I must say, I think you'll be basking in a very interesting spirit this year, 2025 going into 2026, because again, this is not like a yearly thing, like every year on the fast of the prophets, the volcano goes boom. No, this is the first time on recorded history. Imagine that. Or the first time in 10,000 or 12,000 years, whatever the case is. All right, so when we return, I will be reading this special article for you. And again, those of you who will not be with us or have not registered to be with us on the tour, you know how to do that. Just email us, priestisaacInstitute@gmail.com. Now, this is the Tiger's Nest. Please do not go anywhere. We're going to take a short intermission and return and give you an update on the fasting period, 43 days. Again, the fast of the prophets. Rastafari. Give thanks.